People of YouTube, hello! How's it going? It's one of those less opinion videos again. Today I'm going to talk about Areal, a game that is about to get kickstarted. You may have already heard about this. It's a bit of a controversy going on, hence I'm even making this video. So, about a month ago, which, that makes sense because the Kickstarter is about to end, it was kind of announced. I don't think it even kind of existed before the Kickstarter was announced, but I found like a Rock Paper Shotgun article that, oh, this game is being made, and it's going to be kind of like Stalker, and it was claimed to be made by people who worked on Stalker. They are calling themselves West Games? West Games. Right, and they said that they are some of the developers who worked on the Stalker series, and now they're making this sort of spiritual successor. There seems to be so many spiritual successors of Stalker, and it's Areal. It's called Areal, and they need $50,000 to make the game, which is going to be a free roam, open world, single player experience in the world of the Stalker universe. I guess let's call it. There are problems from the very beginning. I heard this, I was like, I guess, whatever, and I forgot. And that was until about 3 days ago, when this kind of resurfaced for me. But apparently stuff was brewing in there. So things were happening. For one thing, the Kickstarter pitch video, which I haven't watched at the time, but I have now, features videos or bits of gameplay from the Stalker games and some art from the Stalker games as developers or whoever is doing the voiceover is talking about their new game Areal. So some people took issue with that. Another thing was this. I'm just going to list several things that kind of were problematic, and then we get to the main parts. Another thing was that they showed some stuff that they may have worked on before, but there was, until like 2 or 3 days ago, there was no footage from the game itself. And it's a big project. Making an open world game is not, it's not something you just kind of do in a couple of days and you're done. It's a huge game, and $50,000, to be honest, is not enough for anything. So people were like, okay, well, you saying that some of it is already made and you already sunk some of your own money into this, so let's see it. And for a long time there was nothing, and then I'll show you what came up. Another problem was that some guy who was registered as like the recipient of the funds was not listed anywhere in the game, and anywhere in the credits on the Kickstarter, and people were like, who's this guy? They found out that he's some dude in Las Vegas, and something. So it's just kind of weird. It's why is the guy who is getting the money not listed, blah blah. Then the developer said, oh, he's the partner, etc., etc. Another problem was it's a very interesting set of problems. That's why I'm going through them. Was the whole claim that the developers who are working on Areal, the people of West Games, are actually the people who worked on the Stalker series. Interestingly enough, this is probably the only Kickstarter, maybe aside from the huge whatever Citizen 50. I gave it money to. What is it called? The one that with the big space stuff, $50,000 million that it was given to the the one. I don't even remember what it's called anymore. It's been in development for a long time. But apart from that, I don't think there's any other Kickstarter that I've seen that has 14,000 comments in its comment section, and the thing's like still going. There's still, at the time of recording this, there's still 3 days left on the Kickstarter. The reason there's so many comments is because people offer criticism of what they see, and then the developers spam the comment section with copy-pasted material to bring down the criticism to a different page or somewhere else, just to keep it down. So it's now up to, at the time I'm looking at the page now, I'm actually going to reload it just to give you the most accurate information possible. There's like 80 comments just were deleted, I think, because it was 14,095 and then, or about 90, something like that. It's now 13,995, so about 100 comments just disappeared. Anyway, that's what's going on. So when I'm gonna actually not, no, I was gonna say why when it came to my attention, but instead I'm gonna show you the prototype gameplay that the developers released, and you judge for yourself whether or not you like it, or what you think of it. So here we go. fun, right? So that was like the short version. There's like a bigger trailer where they also talk about the game and show this footage, and they walk around in this garden, and like leaves are kind of brushing against the faces of developers. So this, I think I saw this after the thing that kind of grabbed my attention. Today or yesterday, they also released a statement, if we can call it that, which is basically them saying that some journalists are trying to find it. I don't know where it is. I got a link to it somewhere. There's a Polygon article about it, and it links to it. That they've been unfair to them, so they are blaming Forbes for being biased and unprofessional because they criticize the game Kickstarter and the way it's handled. Because, for example, there's no plan for how they're going to spend the money, what money they need for, how much they need for each thing, etc. It doesn't exist. It's not there. And they're saying, this is stuff that I got from a Eurogame article already, that we'll get to it, kind of thing. This is obviously not enough, but we already put a significant amount of money into the game, and then we are going to get possibly more funding. But this Kickstarter is something we need also. There's more details to it as well. I'm going to show you another interesting video, which is the one they released. I'm also going to link to the source of to the whatever, the post, the update, the Kickstarter update, where they're actually saying they're addressing 2 news sources that are unprofessional and show incredible personal bias. And there's a list of people who they call trolls, who are apparently trolling the comments, and I guess they keep deleting their stuff and adding their spam to fight that. But before we go to the second video, there's so much things that are kind of interesting, also sad, also funny, happening around this Kickstarter that I'll probably miss half of them. But another interesting one was where, for example, on Friday they had $37,000 and they had like 5-6 days left, and on Saturday they went to 64 from that, so they basically almost doubled the amount, while only increasing the amount of backers by 2. So that was an interesting development there. And at some point, I think just before that, they released a video, which you're going to see in a second, in order to prove that this whole campaign is not a scam. So in order to prove that, they are showing themselves and the team and presenting themselves. It's pretty cringeworthy. So get your cringes, ready for this, because they're going to get pretty cringed up. So let's take a look at that one.
Hello, Kickstarter. Hello everyone, my name is Evgenia and I'm a part of the Best Games company. We are here to represent you some of our team. So first of all, this is Eugene. He's our founder.
Hello.
You've heard about him. This is Peter. He's our lead game designer. He's responsible for the gameplay and other sort of such things. This is Evgeny.
Hello.
He's our concept art designer. He's responsible for the atmosphere in the game. We like it so far, and we hope you like it too. This is Yuri. He's our head technical designer. He's responsible for the CTO and technical issues of the art part of the Areal. So, please support us. Support our projects on the Kickstarter. Thank you.
So that was fun. I'm sorry you had to see that. But the part that, actually, before we got there, I just wanted to recommend that if you are the kind of person who likes to look into the void, go visit the comment section. I mean, I will try to include all the links of the things that I mentioned in the video. But Areal Kickstarter, I mean, if you just type Areal, I think you'll just get there on Google. But the comment section is rich ground for just looking into the void of internet and finding all kinds of crap there. But finally, the part that really got to me, as I don't know, as a person, the one that I just saw and I was like, what really is the one where they claim that they got a letter from the president of Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, who expressed his support for the project. That is correct. That's what they're claiming. So there's a Russian version of it. It's like I guess a scan of this. I think I have it open over here. It's written in, how do I say this? It's worded in a weird way. Like, it's understandable Russian, but it's like, I understand that Putin wouldn't write this himself, but the people who write letters for Putin, I assume, are better than that at Russian. Also, it's addressed to the Evgeny or Eugene Kim, whatever you want to pronounce his name as, the guy who's like in charge of the project. And it says so to Eugene Kim. I think I have a translation of it somewhere here. President of the West Games Company, Kiev, Ukraine. It's not an address. That's not how you write the letterhead. So, but when they show the scan of the alleged Russian version, there is no like scratched out part, right? There is no thing that like the address for what? Why would you even black out the address? I mean, a company's address is supposed to be public information. Why would you delete that? But it's not even, they didn't even attempt to like pretend they deleted it. They just kind of, that's how Putin wrote it. He wrote to Evgeny Kim, the president of the company West Games, Kiev, Ukraine. Cool. All right. So I'm gonna, but this is too good, man. This is great. So I'm gonna read out the Putin's letter because it's so good. Right. So it says, "Dear Eugene," or Evgeny, whatever. Eugene is like a version, like English version of Evgeny. My daughter told me, says Putin, about your game called Areal, which is a spiritual successor to Stalker, and told me that she paid money to support your project on Kickstarter. I also love video games as well as shooters, and translation not mine, by the way, and I like this idea. It's important that our people do not shoot at each other, but instead play games like this. Is this actually what it says in the Russian version? Yes, it does. Yeah. So that's what Putin said. 2014, Vladimir Putin, by the way. The first part of Stalker took place in Ukraine, and in the second game, Areal, you put all events in the center of Russia. And if this is a war with mutants in a video game, then that is very interesting. Okay. I attentively familiarized myself with your idea and really liked it. Really like it. This is embarrassing. If you give me the chance to play the alpha version of the game when it is ready, then I invite you in advance to Kremlin to meet personally. Be ready to play a little bit and be ready. So yeah, they even managed to translate the like badly written Russian version, because it just sounds like it makes a different. That's not what it meant in there. It says like, I will be ready, but it says be ready as if the developer is supposed to be ready to play. Anyway, so I think they meant that Putin will be ready to play a little bit and talk about the interests of young people, the gamers of our country. Best regards, and as a signature in the other version, Vladimir Putin. So, it is safe to assume that whenever a Kickstarter campaign, any crowdfunding campaign, any publicity campaign, which, inadvertently a Kickstarter campaign is a publicity campaign, pretends to have received mail from the heads of state, that you should get your money out. That's the reddest flag there is. I don't think there is a redder flag. I mean, yes, possibly there is a little tiny bit of chance that Vladimir actually wrote to them. The chance is as big as probably say that the atoms in a statue vibrate in such a synchronous manner that the statue raises an arm, like that kind of probability, you know. It just vibrate, kind of does that. Probably happens once in so many years that it would be like the universe heat death would have already happened. That kind of probability. But just think about the idea of like them going, oh yeah, so this is, I guess, failing. What could we do? Hey, why don't we pretend that Putin wrote to us? The funny bit is that I don't understand where this is even going, because after they published this and their money jumped, like doubled their backing, the amount of backers didn't double. So unless a lot of backers left and the same amount of came, and those guys brought the money, or people saw that Putin likes it, and they gave them, they increased their pledge like, you know, a lot, obviously, because to go from 37 to 64,000, that's a lot of money. That's what, $27,000 just appeared after this mystical letter from the head of Russian Federation. Please, girl, please. I mean, seriously, really, this. I was gonna say, I'm not, like, who believes this shit? You know? Who are the people who see this and go like, yeah, I guess that, yeah, it's pretty cool. Putin likes it. I mean, kids, possibly young, maybe patriotically brainwashed kids from Russia would believe this. Why are they given money by their parents to back Kickstarter is a completely different situation. But like an adult who sees this and goes, I just have a hard time imagining that even. It's weird. It's strange. But this is still happening, and they're getting funded. Now, the way I think Kickstarter works is, as long as the money pledged is above the limit that it's, you need for the game, you can say, so let's say it's 64, it stays at 64, they only need 50,000 for a game that would probably take $500,000 to make. After that, the Kickstarter is over, and in like a couple of days, Amazon, I think, which handles all the payments, tries to charge the cards or whatever, the debit cards, the credit cards that were used to pledge the money. Now, if you use some debit card that has no money on it, then Amazon won't be able to take that money from you, right? So that is a very, I think, the very scammy way of possibly, just making this possible. Unless some people actually, after they saw the Putin wrote to them, be like, yes, I will give them $10,000 more on top of the $50 I was giving them before, and fund this project. I want this thing to see this thing made. But yeah, that's the idea. I would be very interested to hear what you guys think about this kind of situation. And I've seen Kickstarter fail, and I've seen Kickstarter not deliver the product. I've seen very badly managed Kickstarters. Most Kickstarters, most gaming Kickstarters do not reach their goal. That's okay. I mean, not most games are shit. Here, I said it. That's just the way it is. Most writing is crap. Most films are crap. Most everything is crap. Select few like small amount of things is good generally in the world. That's how I view the world. Also people. So that's okay. It's understandable that most gaming Kickstarters would not succeed. But like this level of bullshit happening all in the same thing, just together, it's unbelievable. I know, I mean, it is believable. It is right here. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the number of comments growing like 30 a second or something like that on the comment thread. But it is also kind of unbelievable, if you know what I'm talking about. This is, again, still happening. So at the time you see this video, there's probably like 2 more days left. So you can go and take a look. Just take a look at if you can withstand the void, take a look at the comment section. There's a longer video they produced. And if you can like bear the pain of watching it, watch it. Because it's educational. It's interesting in a very, I don't know, very painful way. It is interesting, if you know what I mean. So I'm so appalled and fascinated by what's going on with this Kickstarter. And money does that to people, I guess. And it's very interesting where this goes. It's not going to end up in a good place. I doubt very much this game is going to get made. Probably this was obvious by now. But let's have a bet. If this game ever gets made, and 2 months after its full release, the Metacritic score, which I don't really care about, but let's put a figure on it, is more than 50, I'll eat my trousers. Done. There you go. I said it. You can write it down, call me on it. That's cool. That's how I'm gonna play it. But that's it. That's all I can say about this the most weird thing on Kickstarter possibly that I've seen. Again, share your opinions with me. I would be very interested to read about that in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did so, please consider supporting in any way you can. And I'll see you next time. Bye.